This is Empty the Bench with Tom Albano.
I'll admit that I'm disappointed that Simone Biles didn't partake, and I'm disappointed she didn't try, and I'm disappointed that the U.S. lost the gold medal. I admit I'm some disappointment, but ultimately it's her decision.
Nick Morgeson.
Rob Manfred better be shitting his pants right now. If he thought he was having a problem marketing the sport now, with your two young stars out, what the heck are you going to do to market?
And Nick Federa.
On the breath of speculation that everybody's done, he just decides to go back, hat in hand, tail between legs, and saunter all the way back to Green Bay. So, okay, all right, we'll go.
Empty the Bench starts now.
And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful super team. And you may tell yourself, this is not Wade and Bosch. Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was.
Letting the days go by. Whatever. I'm not even going to try. I don't want us getting copyrighted. Welcome to Empty the Bench, episode 97. Tom Albano, Nick Federa, Nick Morgeson, closing in on 100 episodes here. Quite the maddening week, and quite a lot of money being thrown around. In two different leagues, money being thrown around in two different ways. Yeah. So we'll get to Mr. Evander Kane in a little bit. We'll discuss the Yankees and how their injured list, in terms of both COVID cases and just normal injuries, is insane. Again, same as it ever was. We'll mention Simone Biles and Carson Wentz a little later too, but we would be remiss if we did not start with probably the biggest story of this whole week. You know, it's been going on since this week has started. NBA free agency.
Oh, man, this has been insane. The amount of, as I do it again, money that's going on in this offseason, which, by the way, most of the players are overseas or actually just finished the Olympics. And congratulations to USA Basketball beating France in the Olympics and winning the gold medal, 87-82 in the early hours of Saturday morning.
Yeah, congratulations to them. I mean, it was a very rough start. But they actually got the gold. USA baseball and softball, I mean...
Better luck in 2024, I guess.
There's no 2024 baseball, softball. You have to hope that they get approved for 2028.
Ah, crap.
Come on.
But still.
Unless it's the World Baseball Classic going to come back.
Oh, God, no. Oh, God, get it away.
I mean, that's what it is. It's crickets. No one's going to give a crap about it. But just looking at the numbers. Looking at the numbers. And by the way, there's going to be some investigations, as Tom brought to my attention, about some sign and trade deals that went down in the NBA, which for some reason it got past Mr. Basketball what was actually going on. But just looking at the numbers. So yesterday, Kevin Durant in the process of a 4-year, $198 million deal with the Nets. We all knew that was going to happen. Of course, I heard rumors yesterday from First Take, of all places, that, if he doesn't resign with the Nets, he's going to end up in a Knicks uniform. And I was like, slow your roll. Like, we know that's not going to happen.
We've heard every rumor of everybody going to the Knicks.
Yet it hasn't happened. And most of all, what the Knicks spent their money on was basically keeping everybody on their roster. Other than they did sign Evan Fournier and they did sign they got Kemba Walker via trade. So they did improve.
Well, Kemba Walker. So Kemba Walker agreed to a buyout with the Thunder, and now basically the Knicks have him and they barely have to pay a dime for him.
That's a Brian Cashman move right there.
I mean, literally, Cashman move. I was going to say that's a real Dolan move if you think about it. Well, I don't have to shell most of my money out. I can get somebody for dirt cheap. They're probably paying the NBA minimum, which I think is $500,000. So,
right. Well, Nick, to that end, I give you credit. You were right. Somehow they managed to keep Julius Randle.
I don't know how, but they did it.
Mean, that to me is more of a thanks for making us relevant again deal. Because that's what Julius Randle did this past season. He made the Knicks matter again.
Well,
they overpaid in more ways than one. They overpaid.
First of all, yes, they overpaid, and second of all, yes, they did. He did make them relevant again, and he did deserve a nice deal. But are they going to still be relevant? Is this going to be consistency, or are they going to be falling back to same old Knicks?
They still don't have the rest of the roster around them. I know they have guys like Quigley and a bunch of other young guys, but that's not a playoff winning roster now.
I mean, they went to the playoffs, and that I don't think that they. I think the name of the game here was continuity. They didn't want to. Well, meaning Leon Rose and West, what's his name, and
Worldwide West.
Yeah, but he has a last name. I'm not gonna. Hello, Mr. Worldwide. What are you, Pitbull? I'm not gonna. Do and of course, Tom Thibodeau did not want to blow this team up. So it's like, they want to see what they can do with this core. They believe they have a core and they want to work with it.
By the way, and I said it in the promo, I'll say it again. With bringing back Derrick Rose to this roster on a 3-year, $43 million deal, I'm going to call
a bit much. That's a bit much.
I'm going to call this backcourt the achy breaky knees. Okay, because they are literally the oldest freaking backcourt in the NBA, probably.
However, there is a potential upside to at least Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier is good.
Right. I was going to say, for the Kemba Walker thing, I wouldn't say too much upside, but considering the fact that they are barely paying for him now
it's a wash, basically.
Now it's a very low-risk deal. Low-risk, high reward.
All right, so we'll move on from the Knicks for a second. So a bunch of other deals that went down. Chris Paul got his 4-year, or was it 4 years or 3 years? 4 years, $120 million.
I'm very worried about the Suns because they pay all this much to Chris Paul, and it's like, yes, it kind of is another thank you deal, but and maybe you'll lock him up and he'll retire a Sun, but is this team ever going to reach the finals again?
Not the way that the West is constructed, and like I told the guys before we started, the NBA season in 2022 is going to be one of the more competitive seasons we've seen in quite a long time, before the bubble, before COVID, because all the teams are coming back to normal, including Golden State, which has been kind of asleep for the last couple of years.
And Stephen Curry getting another massive multi-million-dollar deal. Isn't this you said the first NBA player in history to get 2 $100+ million deals?
And he doesn't even have a private island. So what is the point of having all that money?
I mean, I said we should just send everybody to the Bermuda Triangle and forget who they are anyway.
I said that means more holy moly. It's never going to stop.
I guess the Subway commercials also paid too. But were there any real surprises in this free agency period? Of course, it's not over, but I mean, what was really a surprise though?
Well, there were a couple of surprises, but there's an issue with some of these surprises. Before we get into that, hello, Jared. Yes, shout out to Jared, one of my old friends from college. He said at the beginning of the show, guessing WWE is one of them. That's not one of our topics, but yes, WWE in the news again for another round of cuts, and I guess Vince McMahon. Again, the rumors going around, is Vince McMahon going to sell WWE?
But we'll get to that.
Also, I didn't hear about this. Russia wants Olympic pole dancing.
Oh,
is that true?
I mean, I would definitely watch it. I don't know if it'd be entertaining, but I would definitely watch it.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there's an old article from 2011 that mentions it. So I guess it's been wanted for some time by Russia, but I don't know.
That's it. I gotta do it just because I have it.
Why the fuck you lying?
He says it's true.
Oh my God! Stop fucking lying.
Why would I believe him? But why? Why would pole dancing be an Olympic sport? But then again, power walking is an Olympic sport now, so I guess anything can.
Yes, it's basically ESPN 8 the Ocho.
They just did ESPN.
They just brought it back.
They just did that the other day. Air guitar as a sport.
Oh God!
Wait, did they have the sport where they have to climb up the slippery stairs?
That was like the very first one they aired at like 6 a.m. or something.
That's just one of those things like you can't accomplish even if you try your hardest.
Yeah, but again, that's not a sport. That's competition, but that's something drunk college kids do on one of these weird days.
This is an argument I have with my brother all the time. Like, is poker a sport? Like, what are we talking about here?
Well,
like,
here's on the old spelling bees that ESPN used to air. They would always say, even though it's not a sport, it is the best in competition.
So it's technically competition. Anything could be a competition. A staring contest is a competition.
Why don't we do thumb wrestling at this point?
I would watch that though. They made a whole movie about that with Sylvester Stallone in the 80s.
All right.
Was that was arm wrestling? I thought that was arm wrestling, not thumb wrestling.
I would watch that too.
Hey Nick, save this for when we preview our newest show coming in a
Card games or games of chance aren't competition.
Well, Nick, you and I will have plenty of time to discuss this on something that we're in the works of making.
So let's get back to the NBA. Let's get back on track.
All right, let's talk about the deals. So
there were 2 deals that were kind of surprising. So there was a sign and trade involving Lonzo Ball being sent over to the Bulls, and we had Kyle Lowry being signed by his Raptors. Now, however, he's been traded to the Miami.
He was signed. He was a free agent. He's signed with the Heat. The way the rules work is so that the other team saves face, and this is the only sport that does it. Is you can the free agent team signs him, and then the team that had him can trade him to get the compensation and picks back. That's how it works.
Okay. However, those deals are now being held up, and this is a little bit, I should bring this graphic up first, of breaking news. So according to Ramona Shelbourne and Woj at ESPN, the NBA is now investigating these deals for potential, guess what, Nick? It's our favorite word when we talk the NBA. Tampering!
I mean,
we finally get a chance to talk about tampering in a non-theoretical sense.
This is like, I'm so tired of this because I feel like we have this conversation a million times because for some reason we can't keep our effing mouths shut when it comes to making deals before the NBA moratorium period. It seems like that word goes above everybody's head when it comes to the NBA. It's called a moratorium, folks.
You're basically daring Adam Silver to fine you.
But for the NBA, we have stuff about it. It's kind of the sport where everything is kind of open, though. Like, we hear all these times about, oh, what if this person and this person were together? What if these 3 guys formed a super team? Hello, LeBron. Hello, Anthony Davis. Hello, Russell Westbrook.
There's a difference between rumor, speculation, and actually having conversations between players on different teams, which is what LeBron James did. This happened back this all started with the Miami Heat.
Yeah, but you did. The last I checked, LeBron and company weren't punished for anything like that.
Because it's LeBron James. That's why he didn't get punished.
They never are. So I don't know if I would use that. Yeah, he's right. They never are. So why would I use that as an example? But still,
just to go through these deals. So Kyle Lowry got a 5-year deal at $85 million, fully guaranteed, by the way,
which is kind of nuts. I mean, he's an NBA champion now, technically, because of a couple of seasons ago, but that's still nuts.
And then Lonzo, your favorite family.
I know, but I want to give some credit. I actually will give some credit here because the Bulls, with this trade, looked like they had a young core, and they looked like they were going to be, something for the future, that they were going to rebuild themselves. Now, you're looking at the possibility that this trade could be reversed.
Well, they also got, I can't remember the other guy's name at the moment, who they got from the Spurs. I can't remember the big free agent that they signed. It's like it's lacking in my mind at the moment. But they got some nice pieces here. The Bulls are actually going to compete.
DeMar DeRozan?
The past couple of years, yeah.
DeMar DeRozan. They got him as a free agent. I don't know if that was a possible sign and trade also. I think,
but the point is, they had something good here, and now we have a little bit of concern.
Yeah, and you know what? The Pelicans were never going to sign him for the $85 million. Also, we knew that.
you say the Pelicans, and now I'm just thinking back to the David Stern days where Chris Paul was traded to the Clippers, and then David Stern put the Lakers, and then he put the kibosh on that, and Chris Paul ended up going to the Clippers.
The one thing I'll defend the NBA on, and I know that's a very sour phrase on this show, defending a commissioner. The Lakers had no ownership. Excuse me. The Pelicans had no ownership at that point. So the NBA owned the Pelicans at that point. So they were not going to. This was before super teams. This was before everything.
I know, but it's just in theory that sounds so weird to say a sports team that has no ownership.
I mean, do they have no ownership?
Now they do.
Now they do.
I mean,
technically, the Packers are owned by stakeholder. You know, any of the three of us can go put money into the Packers, and we could be part owners.
It doesn't count as official shares, though, from what I learned. So
maybe Empty the Bench just needs to put a couple of dollars in, though, and we can brag that we partly own the Green Bay Packers.
Empty the Bench, presented by Packers.
Of course, we have our own cryptocurrency. Of course, it's named Buttcoin, but still, nobody wants to invest in Buttcoin. Come on.
We're going to make a second cryptocurrency called Benchcoin.
Wait, Buttcoin, Benchcoin.
Empty coin.
Just like the Lakers. Why don't we just add another B, like Bron, Brony, and what was the other word?
Bron, Brody, and
Brow. I mean, come on. The Lakers. What's next? Are we going to add bitch slap to that as too?
Bitch slap coin? I don't know if anybody.
No, because they said the Lakers have a big 4, so let's add bitch slap to that too.
Oh.
Moving on. All right, I can't believe we have to go to this. So, more Yankee COVID cases. Cole, you get COVID. Montgomery, you get COVID. Gary Sanchez, you get COVID. And let's just give you one last kick below the belt. Chapman, you go on IL.
Oh, God.
I mean, what is going on here? Is Major League Baseball so inept with their COVID tracing that they can't stop people from getting COVID? What is this?
Yes,
that's contact tracing in the First of all, that's Florida for you. Second of all, that's the Johnson & Johnson vaccine against the Delta variant for you. And 3, that's high spread for you. That's what happens. These are the things that happen when people don't want to get vaccinated. But you know what? That's another.
Let's say in the case of the Johnson & Johnson one, I think that I'd say it's not a matter of not wanting to get vaccinated. It's a matter of, hey, we don't have time to do the 1 month between things. Let's just do the Johnson & Johnson one shot. Good. Now we don't have to waste our season. We don't have to waste our money.
Why don't we ask Kirk Cousins what he's thinking about also? Did you see that story, guys?
Yes,
I know, and I can't talk about that without tearing what little hair I have left out. Still, in the case of the Yankees, they've been. This didn't happen last season. And COVID, they didn't have a vaccine then. Are you kidding me?
And now what is this? 2 or 3 breakouts for the Yankees this season?
Well, we talked about the Nationals last week, who had a major breakout.
Nationals had a breakout, yeah.
And I told you guys last week, the Nationals were the first one at the beginning of the season. They lost 2 weeks of games.
They were the first one, and the weird thing about the Yankees is they've got all these players on the COVID list, and yet they're still playing pretty good ball. I mean, they're 11 games over 500, which is their high watermark for the season. And
it's sad that's the high watermark.
It's sad that's the high watermark, but that's what happens when you suck in April and May and June. That's what happens. That's the hole you have to climb out of. Do I sound bitter? I feel it.
Yeah, you're just a bit bitter. But what I was going to say is I'm getting so annoyed, and this is my reaction. With what's going on with the whole Major League Baseball right now, they cannot control their cases. Did you hear what I said in the intro that between players getting hurt and COVID, with Acuna out and Tatis, who got hurt in a ridiculous base running play at third base?
Is he back?
No, he might be out for the rest of the season.
Oh God! Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I read that the other day.
But still, this is what happens when you know what? Thank God they did get vaccinated. It does prove that vaccines work. That Garrett Cole and Jordan Montgomery only have mild symptoms, and they're not in the hospital. God forbid.
Just quick disclaimer. Again, we are trying to be careful. We're a sports show, not a politically driven COVID vaccine show. But go get it, please.
Go get yours today. We've got more than we need.
It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. Sorry, but coming from my side of things, over the MMA side, it makes me laugh. And all these fighters, they're willing to take punches to the head, slams to the ground, but they're scared of a little penny needle.
Hey, while you're at it, go get the vaccine, and maybe you'll earn $200 while you're at it.
Because it'll magnetize you. Don't you know that? Because then the aliens will be able to track you using 5G. Don't you know that? It's made of aborted fetuses and powdered up rhino horn. Don't you know that? That's what the deep state wants you to think. They want you to think it's fake.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe Rogan telling people not to get vaccinated when he is.
Ta-da!
F Joe Rogan. I don't give a shit.
Hey, Joe Rogan, it's a UFC pay-per-view, and he's not on commentary tonight. It's amazing.
And you know what? This is what people are going to say when he's not there.
Who cares? We got Dominic Cruz and Daniel Cormier tonight, so all good. All right, but yeah, the Yankees are frustrating me in various ways in terms of certain players. Andrew Heaney. Oh man.
Although they're finding their way back in this game currently.
Now. Andrew Heaney, I'm sorry. There was no reason to make that trade. That was desperation. You had all these other pitching names.
I'll tell you why they made it. I'll tell you why they made the trade.
All right. Speaking of money.
And Hippie just hit a home run. Yankees take the lead.
That's live commentary for you folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, timing of that was amazing. But speaking of money,
you know what?
Evander Kane.
Yeah, Evander Kane. So if you don't know, if you're not hockey people like me and Tom are, you might not know about Evander Kane of the San Jose Sharks. Pretty good player, right?
Yes.
And he is accused of by his wife, his soon-to-be ex-wife, of betting on his own games, of partying, infidelity, I think, was thrown in there,
yes,
and potentially even throwing games.
Well, I was going to say, the biggest part of that is not just the betting of the games, but potential throwing of games.
Well, how about the potential $500,000 gambling debt at a casino? Oh, wait, I'll save you the trouble.
FBI, open up!
I mean, Michael Jordan says hi, but still.
So
what the issue? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so he's being accused, and the NHL has released a statement saying that basically these are damning accusations, and a major investigation is now.
I mean, if you're being sued by a major casino for $500,000 because you're a degenerate gambler, that's a massive problem.
And gentlemen, as sports betting now comes more and more into the forefront in these leagues, this is gonna be a big concern. You would think something like, because of what happened with Pete Rose in the 70s, that it wouldn't be, but now that sports gambling is in the forefront, this is going to be more and more of an issue.
Tim Donaghy.
Yes.
I would dare say it's gone further from being close. They're whoring themselves out, and I hate to use that word, but with that word.
Here's the problem. The problem is we don't have all the information on this story, but I told the guys what they were going to do to figure out. They both laughed when I told them that they're going to go through every betting slip that he went through to find out if he bet on the games.
Is Bettman actually going to do anything about it is my question, because the
investigation is underway, but here's the thing. Like what Nick's saying about going through slip by slip, I would imagine that's not on the NHL. That's going to be on the casino workers of these, especially the one that's suing him for $500,000. That's going to be on.
It's not just that. What about filing bankruptcy for $27 million?
And
it's gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna take a lot of
it's going to take a lot
resources.
of time. And don't forget, like if these accusations end up being true, you're going to have some pissed off bettors.
Oh
fans
yeah,
who are betting on them.
absolutely.
Well, it
And
doesn't.
I don't know if Bettman is actually. I don't know if any of the sports are actually. If they're actually prepared to deal with the kind of fallout that might entail.
Well, let me detail something before I let you speak, Nick. First of all, because this question was brought up in our little discussion, pre-show discussion together. In terms of betting on yourself, maybe not so much a problem, especially if you're betting on yourself to win, or betting on if you're a Sharks player and you're betting on a game between the Rangers and the Bruins, doesn't exactly sound all too bad. There was actually a UFC fighter who I thought this was stupid, but he bet on his own fight that he would win, and he actually didn't.
Well, that's
but here's where the issues come in. When you're talking about the throwing accusations, like you're betting against your own team. The spreads, if I can recall in college basketball, the point shaving for the city of New York, like what was that in the 60s?
Yeah.
When you're talking those kinds of things, now the integrity of the league comes into question.
Well,
it does come into question, and I don't know if they have a good answer if the integrity does come into question.
Well, I don't know if you're ever going to save the integrity of sports, but at the same time, I was going to say, with all the gambling sponsorships that are growing and growing and growing, even bigger to the millions of billions of dollars, you're going to have an issue where players are going to want to gamble because it's sitting right in front of their face where they're saying to themselves, oh, wait, there's money to be had.
Exactly. And when there's money to be had, ethics falls by the wayside.
Look at DraftKings. Look at FanDuel. Look at all the big companies that are getting involved. We just saw the Score was bought by Penn National Gaming, which owns Barstool, for $2 billion.
I'm starting to see Aaron Paul in my sleep talking about betting on Yankees and Rays. I mean, jeez.
Oh, what I'm starting to see? Actually, it's actually true. I'm starting to see every sports game that you see on TV, Jesse Cofield and the DraftKings commercials about betting on this game and this event.
You know what the new thing is now? And they're talking about putting this technology in where you can literally make bets from your TV screen in an interactive way. It's going to come in the next couple of years, they say.
You don't have to leave your house to gamble.
No, you can be a degenerate gambler right from your couch eating bonbons.
I mean, you already don't have to leave your house. I mean, unless you live like here in New York where you have to cross the bridge to go.
It's actually been legalized.
You don't even have to get up and use your laptop.
Well, it's actually been legalized. They're just waiting to make the deal official for gambling in Europe.
Yes, so many DraftKings. Yes, every freaking game.
Every friggin' game. It's DraftKings.
And on YouTube too. Actually,
yes,
every time
on YouTube as well.
Hey,
everything that's old is new again. It's 1919. We finally have the Black Sox as finally that.
Oh, don't go that direction. I don't want to imagine that.
All I was going to say is, hey, if DraftKings and they want to make all their commercials and their money, they could send some commercials over our way if they want to help out. Just saying. Well, we'll do some of the gambling analysis if you want to pay us.
I like this one by Jerry. Or you could just get paid to lose to Ben. Yeah, get paid $500,000 to lose to Jake Paul. Yeah.
Talk about a lazy piece of shit that didn't give a crap about fighting.
All right.
Well, you said it.
Simone Biles, gentlemen. So last week we had a whole discussion on the mental health issues, the pulling out and everything. And, guys, this is one of the best ways that this story could end.
Yeah.
And to be honest, and she wasn't even that's not really her forte, the medal, what she competed in and won bronze in, right?
No, but what's so interesting is she came out and said this has nothing to do with the twisties, and so when
her aunt had actually passed away recently, and I think
all I can say is, and I just want to say for last week, because I know the guys were not 100% happy with what I said last week, that I might have gone a little overboard last week for what I said, but at the same time, all I was just trying to prove is that we all have our issues. And that we all need to take care of our issues in a way.
I was going to say, like I hope this doesn't sound mean spirit. I wish I would have known about that, when this first happened.
Everybody who badmouthed her does seem to owe her an apology.
Yeah,
and you know what this proves? And what this proves is she's still better than most gymnasts out there. She's still the GOAT.
And you know what? And like I said last week, she has to be graded on the men's scoring scale. That's how difficult some
because
of her
is that good. She is changing the sport. So really, this is the best way that it could have ended, considering how it began.
Definitely.
Right. And just between, like you said, her aunt passing away, dealing with the Larry Nassar situation, dealing with everything that it comes being the GOAT of the sport, winning a medal in general after all that is quite incredible.
It's an accomplishment that's worth being celebrated. Hey, good news. Yankees just tied the game. Higashioka double.
Yeah, he did tie the game. They didn't take the lead, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
They actually are apparently. See, I wish I was in front of a TV.
All right. We have one more story we got to get through. And it involves an old familiar face to us Giants fans, Nick. And it's, well...
So I guess Nick Foles was actually the good one here, huh?
Another injury to Carson Wentz. So...
Are we surprised?
Well, let me get the background. So Phillip Rivers, of course, was the quarterback of the Colts last season. Phillip Rivers ends up retiring. So what did the Colts do? Do they try to trade up in the NFL draft to get one of these young quarterbacks? Do they draft, not one of the top young quarterbacks in the draft, but still somebody like a Kellen Mond or Davis or something? No, they get another veteran quarterback in Carson, Mr. Injury Wentz.
So that being the case, in that case, you should expect the expected, and everything that everybody was screaming at you would happen has happened. So really, who's surprised here? Are you surprised? Are you
Not
surprised?
No.
I just thought it wasn't gonna come this soon. I thought it was gonna be like a couple of weeks into the season or something.
I so want to see Nick Foles on this roster, just so he could come in like he did for the Eagles and win a Super Bowl. Just be like, I'm here, I won.
Hey, Colts. So I guess this is gonna be another year of Jacoby Brissett.
I mean,
He's not on
I
the
like
team
Jacoby
anymore.
Brissett.
Oh,
He's not on the team anymore. He's traded to the Dolphins.
Oh, that's right. You got traded to the
yeah.
Dolphins. Oh, like that means Jacob Eason, the second-year quarterback, is gonna have to start.
Who?
They drafted him last year in 2020.
Oh, that's why I've never heard of him. But still, I mean, it's Carson Wentz. I'm surprised it didn't happen during a freak moose hunting accident. But why was anybody expecting anything different? I mean, Carson Wentz, not only is he injury prone, he lost his backup won a Super Bowl with his team.
You know what's even freakier? Like, you have guys like Sam Bradford, who was injured in college, injured in the NFL, made $120 million basically not playing. Is that going to be Carson Wentz?
Gentlemen,
it's your significant other versus the person they told you not to worry about.
Gentlemen, the AFC South, I want you to think about this. So you have the Tennessee Titans and just how good they've been the last couple of seasons. You have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who went 1-15 last season, but got Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, slowly building themselves, back up. Then you have the Colts, who just lost their quarterback already. And then you have the Texans, who, well, the less said about them and their problems with Deshaun, the better. So if you go down, if you split the division, Jaguars and Titans and Colts and Texans, this is a Jekyll and Hyde of a division.
I don't know what this division is. Is it too soon to say that it might actually be a toss-up? We're not doing our NFL previews yet, but we will. I could imagine.
You think it could? You think it could overtake the NFC East as the worst division in football right now?
There is a non-zero chance of that happening, and
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I agree, because when you think about it, all the NFC East division teams kind of suck. I mean, maybe the Cowboys start to get back into it now that they've got Dak back. But
you're gonna say the Cowboys are gonna do something? Who are you? You're
Probably
a Giants
not.
fan. Come on.
Probably, I'd say, but probably not. But here's the difference: the NFC East. Most of the teams, even though they had like losing records and stuff, they were competitive. The division was on the line in the last week of the season. Here with the AFC South, you have the Titans, who are the clear favorite, the Jaguars, who are trying to build themselves back up with youth, and you have the Colts and the Texans, where if the Texans, I know there's the rumor about maybe Deshaun Watson and Jalen Hurts being swapped in a potential Texans-Eagles deal. I know those rumors are going around, but if that doesn't happen, you've got two teams, because let's face it, Deshaun is probably going to get suspended to start the season, even if he plays. That's even if he plays, because he doesn't want to play for the Texans anymore.
Wait a minute. He pulled the Marshawn Lynch. He showed up at camp, and he said, I don't want to get fined.
But I'm just saying, the Colts and the Texans, you have the Titans, who are the clear favorite, the Jaguars, who could be something, they couldn't be, may not be something, and the Colts and the Texans, who are probably going to be competing for the number one pick in next year's draft.
I mean, the Texans definitely, because God knows what's going to happen with that dumpster fire. But is it bad that I choose to hope, especially with the NFC East? I can at least hope the Giants can be good. Is that so sad?
I mean, when
am I pathetic for thinking that?
I mean, when we have a brawl like in the second day of like the big training camp, it's like it's either going to be a very good season or a very bad season.
I know. It's just...
Wait, you have hope in the Giants, though? Really?
Yes, I know it's foreign to you as a Jets fan.
I was going to say, do you have hope?
Do you have hope?
You lying? Why you always lying?
I'm not lying.
I'm not lying.
Stop fucking lying.
Nick, answer our question then. Do you have hope?
Do you have hope?
Absolutely not. What are you? We had to get our freaking number 2 overall pick quarterback because he wouldn't come to freaking camp, for crying out loud.
And he has his issues with his mother.
Come and share with us. You
know what? There's a lot of opinions I have. That's one I'm not going to touch. That's one I refuse to touch. And that tells you a whole lot that I'm not willing to say anything about it.
So, hey, Colt, you're going to have to hope Jacob Eason does something pretty huge. Start the season off hot.
Yeah, we all have hopes. We all have dreams, and then they end up getting slowly flattened like a bunch of pancakes on a Sunday morning.
All right.
Yeah.
I got to get going. All right, I gotta get going because myself and According to Woods will be going live in multiple places here,
including our platforms.
Our platforms are. We're going to be on Twitter Spaces and an audio-only version. I have my YouTube channel. So me and According to Woods will be going live with UFC 265 preview. So catch us in about 20 minutes. It's going to be at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. Actually, here's a very good way to end this show. Jared wants to know, people are Jets fans?
I mean, I thought they were a myth. I mean, scholars have been trying to decipher that mystery for centuries. I mean, could people actually be Jets fans? I mean, was Joe Namath just a drunken mirage?
I can't just with his face with Nick Morgan's face. Of course, Jared. Thank you for tuning in, man. All right. So that's going to do it for this edition of Empty the Bench. Make sure to like us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram at ETB Sports. Actually, Facebook is going to be one of the places where me and According to Woods will be live. Make sure to follow us on our personal Twitter accounts. You can see those scrolling across the little screen on the bottom. And on the road to episode 100. Just a few weeks from now. So.
A lot of announcements coming, so make sure you stay with us. A lot of things coming. A new show is coming, and a lot of other stuff is coming.
Right. So for Nick Morganson, Nick Videra, I'm Tom Albano. We'll see you next week. Until then, take care, everybody.
Good night, everybody!
Good night.
What the